Three, two, one. Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball discussion at this point, because honestly, we haven't necessarily seen this thing until, I guess the beginning of the end of Dragon Ball Z. I don't,
Where are you going with this introduction, man?
I don't know. Anyway, guys, this is World King Kanji. Please, Kanji, say hello.
Hello.
Guys, this is going to be a fun discussion because it's...
So that felt like my first day of school, which is quite appropriate, really. So everybody, we have a new student starting here today. His name is World King Kanji. Kanji, say hello. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Kanji. I'm really glad to be a part of your class.
Real, would you show him around and make sure he knows everything? Speaking of school...
There's your intro.
There's my intro. Okay, guys. Speaking of school, basically at the start of the Great Saiyaman arc and everything from the beginning of the Buu saga, basically from the manga and the anime, is we have Gohan getting on the Nimbus Cloud or the Quinto Un or whatever you want to fucking call it, and going to Orange Star High School, which is in Satan City, and there's a question that I had recently about this school that I just wanted to pose to everyone. I wanted to pose this to Kanji. I wanted to talk about the positives and the negatives and basically all the little nooks and crannies about this particular school. Is it a good school? Or is it like a third ward school where there's just nothing but crime and kids running amok who don't know how to read and just no funding whatsoever? And, it's not something I've ever thought about, but let's discuss it. Anyway, Kanji, what do you think?
Well, I think it is a good school. I'm gonna point this out, right? I'm gonna point this out to you, right away. What?
I completely disagree. I completely disagree with you.
Okay. Well, let's just take it back in time a little bit. Let's say that teachers kind of bestowing a little bit of bodily harm on their students is still quite, it's not necessarily frowned upon as negatively as it would do now. But let's just put this right. So, if you go to a school and you were kind of like us when you were growing up, so they didn't have all these interactive whiteboards and everything that you fancy kids and your spirographs get these days. But what we had to do was if you messed up, you had to clap the erasers, right? So you had to make sure that they're all clean and everything, make sure the chalk and everything was out of them. When Gohan plays up, they don't have any dirty erasers because they're all clean. It's a good school. Instead what they actually have Gohan do? He has to hold the water pails. That's what he has to do. But they already know he's strong, so he's just how's your arms feeling, Gohan? He's all my arms are fine, thanks. And he's starting to feel a bit heavy. Oh, yeah, sure. So, that just goes to show it's a good school. And I bet you those water pails are probably the water pails they used to clean the erasers in the first place. So, think about that for a second, bro.
Okay. That's a unique and interesting argument, I guess. I think it's bad school. And I'll say this. Okay, first point is not only this comes actually courtesy of Geekdom 101 for all you who don't know, and Kanji himself also mentioned Kanji also mentioned this himself, so don't necessarily just take my word for it. Is obviously this school allows its students to come and go as they please. In and out of class, don't show up for class, be incredibly late for class. They don't necessarily care. Gohan can just sit around and go, I need to go to the restroom, and just leave for basically 40 minutes, and no one gives a shit. So, I mean, that just pops in my mind. I've never been in a school where that's especially a high school. I never went to a high school where that was acceptable. So, obviously it's something that they consider. Maybe it happens a lot, so they don't necessarily think about it. No one questions it that much. And then also just in general, there's a lot of crime. There's a lot of crime in that.
As a side note, there is a lot of crime.
As a side note, there's a lot of crime near and around that school. And if you think about high schools with a lot of crime, we never get to see the entrance to that school, but I bet there's I know it's a Japanese school, But if it was like an American school, it'd be like in Third Ward, where like you go in and there's metal detectors and everything, and people are just like really hardcore and just completely like into that shit, and they got guns and they got everything. I mean, think of it, like how much they have Vidal there who can get calls from the police like every single day, get up and go rush to stop a bank robbery or an explosion or a runaway train or something. Like, it seems like a very irresponsible area in my opinion.
Not just to mention about the fact that they have a teenage girl doing all of their fighting for them. I mean, they've got these, like, you know, they pour all the money from the government into the police force and stuff. Instead, they've got dogs in police uniforms running around with handguns, and instead they leave all the actual fucking arresting and all this stuff and the crime fighting to an actual teenage girl. That's pretty irresponsible. But the school is still good.
I'll just say, although we don't get to see a whole lot of people, I mean, you know, for a Japanese high school, we don't see a whole lot of after-school activities going on anyway. Like, people are going home after school because, if you remember, Areza was just sitting there at the very end of during the particulars of the first time she meets Gohan, and she's just like, why don't you come home with me? And he's like, nuh-uh, because you're a gross girl or something. I don't necessarily know what he says, but she's obviously going home. You know Sharpner's going home. You know Vidal's going home and everything. No one stays after school like a traditional Japanese
except that
school.
Redhead girl who likes his teddy bear underwear because she stands on the roof for no reason without a contact and just waiting for something to happen. That's just, you know, that says a lot.
That's my point. Like, there's no regulation in this school. Like, you shouldn't be on the roof. People shouldn't be on the roof. You tell me that's a good school. You know where else I've seen like kids on a roof in a high school? Yu Yu Hakusho. And you tell me Yu Yu Hakusho's high school is not a good high school. Those kids are bullies. They have gangs and territories and stuff. This is bad high school, guys. Bad high school.
And a lot of them dead as well. This is some cat.
Exactly. Like, I'm just saying, guys, bad high school. I feel like Orange Star High School is definitely just a bad high school.
Well, can we just, like, interject with the fact that they've obviously got quite a high sports curriculum? I mean, have you seen how many kids in that school are, like, stupidly over-muscled? I mean, like, just, like, Sharpner, I mean, what the hell? He's almost as big as Mr. Satan. And then you've got, like, you know, they all make fun of Gohan for being so scrawny, and it's kind of like, come on, really? What the hell? Like, as soon as Gohan takes his shirt off, he's still ripped to anything. So, you know, these guys have got some serious sports academic, like, they put money into this. And the baseball scheme and everything that I had going on there, you know, kids are getting exercise. I mean, I didn't see one of them on a smartphone.
That's true.
Disregard the era, but
might have something to do with the time. But we did see people did have cell phones.
Yeah, Krillin had a smartphone.
Krillin had he does in Super, but he had a cell phone in Dragon Ball Z, I think. Like,
they all had a contractual upgrade. Stop trying to bring pop culture into, like, inconsistencies with it. Dragon Ball is real. It's still real to me, damn it. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I will give you this. Like, you know, for a bad school, definitely there seems to be some heavy hitting in terms of sports. I mean, they have one hell of a baseball program that they can let everyone play, like, a legitimate game of baseball for their PE.
And also, I mean, there's another side to the story as well. I mean, like, Mr. Satan is arguably, like, one of the richest people in the entire Dragon Ball world, right? And he sends his daughter to that school. You know, it's got to be a good school. I mean, she could go to any school. Any school. Argue that. I mean, it's got to be a good school, right?
I am not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, I've seen plenty of, obviously Satan City is a very lucrative, amazing city. I'm not sure exactly, like, whether it's the same city or not in the terms of the Boo arc, where Boo's rushing around the cities and going to cake shops and stuff, and they're like, oh, he's been to like 37 cake shops. Or, you know, 20-something cake shops. That's a lot of fucking cake shops.
It's a lot of cake shops. And
you know, like, those things, if it is in Satan City, though, like, those things are delicacies. You know, like, you know, sweets and stuff is delicacy. It's not a necessity. So, like, any place around in that, like, metropolis area that has, like, 23 cake shops that can be run and operated to their very leisure and, like, be lucrative, then you must think that like they have some wealthy people, and these aren't necessarily hard areas with a lot of stuff. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of just big cities, that doesn't necessarily indicate that it's a good school. I mean, there's plenty of inner city schools that are very bad and really bad for their students and everything else. So I'm just saying, like, the discussion is out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know, I know firsthand about that because I went to one. So I mean, like, but really, when we start to think about the fact that, you know, I mean, here's another side to the argument. Has it got a rival school? I mean, we don't really know enough about it. But in A Hero's Legacy, Goku Jr. is at a school and he gets picked on by bullies and they steal his rocket pen. And I mean, that shit is hardcore. I mean, if someone stole my rocket pen, I'd probably just move to another school. Like, I ain't dealing with that shit. But he cracks on with it and gets on with Buck, and then he kills him and he pushes him off a bridge or whatever. So, like,
someone stole my rocket pen.
Fuck that guy. But yeah, but anyway, I mean, like, was that the same school? Was it a rival school? I mean, I don't think Pan probably...
It was 100 years in the future. I mean, they could change their school.
Well, I mean...
Well, it's not 100 years, 70
years. Like, Pan 70. Is, like, you know, pretty old, but I wouldn't say she was like 100.
It's 100 years in the dub, it's 70 years in the sub, I think.
7 years in the dub? 70.
70.
Sorry, I misheard that.
7 years. She, you know, Pan
had a rough couple years.
She does not age well.
I'd say it comes from all that landing and breathing in the wrong air on other planets and everything like that. They didn't have spacesuits, but anyway. So yeah, I mean, like,
I want to make one last point with all of this. One of the things they do say is Videl makes it clear that every student in Orange Star High School has to wear the Orange Star High School like pen and everything, and the only ones I can actually remember actually even seeing wearing it are Gohan and Videl. And now what you've already said with Gohan, like, obviously Gohan is like a stickler and a goody two shoes when it comes to studying and everything, and Videl has, like, you know, she has,
it matches a dress.
Her shirt, her daddy's shirt.
Yeah, sure.
That's a weird image. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, they've got all the money in the world, but she still gets his hand-me-downs. I beat selling that shirt. You wear that shirt every day, honey. It'll bring you good luck and fortune.
But that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like they're the only ones who wear those pins. So obviously they have no real indication of, like, they don't like govern their students. They don't make sure that they're wearing any type of uniform or even the pin they're supposed to be wearing, because I can't think of anyone else who wears those pins, and she clearly says that's mandatory. Plus, the one thing I haven't said here is when Gohan's teacher first introduces him to the class and Videl is like, oh my god, and Erase is like, oh my god, I want to fuck him. Like,
those exact words. I remember that dub. That was the Ocean dub, yeah. True story.
Oh my god, he's so hot. So hot. when she's sitting there like, oh my god, I just want to like go out. I just want to like rock his shit. Like he like introduces like, this guy can actually read, which a lot of you can't. So I rest my case. I feel like Orange Star High School is a bad third war inner city high school. So that's my case.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think you're actually kind of right, because I just thought of something else that actually might change the idea of it. I mean, you know, they spent all that time teaching him how to play sports, but Sharpner took, like, you know, 20 minutes to focus his camera when he was trying to snap a picture of Saiyaman without his helmet. So, you know, he's obviously not doing a photography course, and if he is, then that's bad. That's got to stop.
Obviously, this school has no photography or any type of arts. It's a bad school that had to cut the program because it doesn't have the funding.
Not to mention that, besides Sharpener, I mean, like, they made a massive deal about the fact that there was a blonde-haired kid fighting, like, you know, some people outside, but, like, you know, they were like, there's a golden fighter, like, blonde-haired kids are a mystery to us, so, like, you know, that kind of shows us a bit of, you know, segregation and discrimination in that town, so I think we should probably stay away from that town overall, so, yeah, Orange Star is probably avoidable. Don't send your kids there, folks.
Oh my god, you're totally right. Although half of, it seems like, and also, if you think about it, I know this isn't necessarily the discussion at all, but all of Videl's friends have blonde hair.
And then,
I mean, I don't know.
She settles for the guy who can change his hair.
She likes blonde haired guys. Maybe she has What's the opposite? Like, what's jungle fever for white people?
Fucking cracker hunting. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's.
That's a completely other video.
But somehow we made it Dragon Ball related. Somehow, everybody, Mark managed to bring jungle fever into a Dragon Ball video.
Anyway, guys. Kanji, thank you for joining me. Is there anything you want to say? Anything else?
Yeah, Orange Star for life.
Hashtag Orange Star for life. Guys, if you haven't checked out Kanji, he'll be in the description below. Please make sure to go check out him. Make sure to check out my channel and all the stuff that we do. We got some really awesome stuff coming up your way. I hope you really have enjoyed this discussion. I know it was sort of like really out there and just kind of silly.
It was basically like a make-do for debate, wasn't it?
It was. It was because we can't get another person on here for a debate at this point. But guys, just make sure to come on, check out Kanji, check out me. Any support would be awesome, guys. Make sure to tell us in the comments section below what you think about Orange Star High School. Do you think it's a bad school? Do you think it's a good school? And
if you think it's a good school, hashtag Orange Star for life. And if you think it's a bad school, Orange Starfish. I don't know.
Orange Star. I don't know. Orange is the new black.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Okay. This is
Black Star.
Okay, this is officially a debate. This is officially. I'm going to put it up as a makeshift to debate. So, if you think that Orange Star High School is actually a good high school, then hashtag Orange Star for life. If you think it's a bad high school, then hashtag Orange is the new black. Anyway, guys, we're gonna catch you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.